Good evening. My name is Mako, and tonight I want to tell you a story. I'm not telling you this story because I think you're going to get something out of it. I'm not telling you this story because I think it's going to change anything. You see, the reason I'm telling you this story is because therapy is way too fucking expensive. So, right now, I guess you're just going to have to be a therapist. So, dear therapist, tonight I'm telling you a story. Let me set up the stage. It's 2011. I was 13 years old. Right now, we're in a boat. We're on a French boat called a péniche. And 11 years ago, I was next to a bunch of other boats that were participating in a music festival here in France. And as someone who had family, who was a part of the staff of that music festival, I was helping out. Specifically, I was helping out in the kitchen. There was a catering crew that was handing out meals for the attendees of the festival, and I was just giving a hand. I was helping them prepare the food, and once the food was prepared, at night I helped them serve the food. So that's the stage. I'm 13 years old. It's the middle of July in the south of France. Despite it being 11 p.m., it's scorching hot. So there's this little 13 years old in a tank top serving food at 11 p.m. If you don't know where this is going, hold on. I guess the world hasn't broken you yet. So here I am, serving up food, smiling to people, thinking to myself, it's getting a bit late. I'd like to enjoy the music while it lasts. The concerts are a bit more far away from the place where we were serving food, so although I was more than able to hear the music, I couldn't see the artist. And since, of course, I wasn't being paid, I was volunteering, I thought, maybe I'm going to give out a couple more meals, and then I'm going to leave, and I'm going to enjoy the show. So that's what I was going to do. I keep giving away meals, and there's this guy who comes up. Hey there. So, you're serving up food tonight. Sure, what can I get you? T'as de beaux yeux, tu sais.
Tout ce que tu dis, ça tient pas en l'air. Tu dirais ça à un autre que moi, je trouverais ça idiot, mais tu me le dises comme ça à moi, bah, c'est marrant, ça me fait plaisir. T'as de beaux yeux, tu sais.
Embrassez-moi.
Nelly.
Embrasse-moi, mon cœur.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So, what do you want? We've got a bunch of stuff. What can I get you? Whatever. Just give me first thing that comes to hand. So tell me, you work here? Is that your dad over there? Oh no, I'm just giving a head. My dad's actually over there. He's helping out with the music festival. We're like kind of part of the staff, you know. While we're talking, I'm giving him some food. I'm picking up a tray for him, and there's like a bunch of people. So even though I'm kind of making small talk, I'm not really trying to extend it because I don't want the people behind him to have to wait. Also, because of the time that it was getting a bit close to the time where we would begin to like run out of food. So, you know, I wasn't trying to make it any longer than it had to be, but I was 13. I was insecure, a little fatty little girl, and someone had just given me a compliment. Oh yeah, your dad's working over there. Oh yeah, that's great. So tell me, when do you get off this little volunteering job? Well, actually, I was thinking that I was just gonna give away a few more pieces of food and then I was going to enjoy the show, you know, because I can't really see it from here. Yeah, that's right. So, what do you say? Do you want to spend some time with me after? Maybe we could go for a walk? Yeah, sure! That sounds fun! So I give him his food. I serve the couple more people behind him, and when there's kind of a lull in clients coming up, I look around, and what do I see? The guy with the hat, the handsome smile, and he's waiting for me. So I tell my volunteering boss that I want to get out of the job, and he says, sure, go ahead. So I leave my apron behind, get out from behind the booth, and I go to the guy, and he's like, so do you want to go tell your dad where you're going? Sure. And you know, maybe I could show you like kind of behind the scenes, like show you how the boats work and stuff. Like, would that be interesting to you? Oh yeah, absolutely. Lead the way, beautiful. So I lead the way, and I take this charming young man to my dad. So, handsome guy and myself are going back to where my dad is. Because during the music fest, you couldn't just wander about if you were someone from the staff, like there was a specific spot where you were supposed to go. My dad was somewhere. Wasn't far from where I was working originally. So, we walk over there, keep talking, keeps complimenting. I'm on cloud 9. For the first time, a handsome boy is interested in me. So, what's your dad's name? Oh, my dad's name is but most people call him. Cool name. We get to my dad. He's sitting there, he's enjoying a beer, and when he sees me come towards him with my handsome boy, he gives me a big smile. Hey, Mako! So, how's it going? You finished working over at the catering? Was it fun? Did you have fun? Oh yeah, sure, Dad. Was so much fun. And I met someone. Look, he's what's your name again? Oh, you know. Something like this, something like that. Well, hello, something like this, something like that. Can I offer you a beer? Oh, sure, with pleasure. Thank you. So, I heard from someone that you're working on the boats here? Sure am. Is that a fun job? Sure is. And it goes on for a little while. Both of them sipping their beer, looking at each other, having great fun. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching my dad and my handsome boy having fun together, and I'm thinking, cool, my dad likes him. That's a point in my favor. So they finish their beer, tranquillou pilou, as we say in my language. And when they're done, handsome boy turns towards me and goes, so, how about that walk? And I go, let's go! And so we go. I wave back to my dad, give him a big smile, and I go on a walk with my handsome boy. So we walk. We go, so all those boats, they're not like ocean boats, they're canal boats. So it's fresh water, there's no waves, it's all quiet, it's all pretty. So we walk alongside the canal, we make small talk. It's fun, I'm having fun, because someone is complimenting me. I have beautiful eyes. So eventually we get to a sort of crossroad, I don't know if that's the right word. It's not really made for cars, like it's where they've all been parked to go to the fest, but it's not like connected to a big road, it's like a countryside road. So there's no lamppost because it's a countryside road. And it's kind of, it's maybe 250 meters away from like the heart of the festival. So there's a few people walking, but not much, like maybe 1 or 2 people each 5 minutes, something like that. And I'm wearing a tank top because, like I said, it was pretty hot. So it was starting to get a bit cold because I had been working like most of the day, and so like I was cooling off. I was away from like the kitchen cooking station stuff, so I was kind of cold. And at this cross section, there's like rows and rows of cars on this countryside road, just like lined up one behind the other. And his car is the first one, which I don't know yet, but that's his car. So he goes, So that's my car. Do you want to maybe sit down for a minute, have a talk? Sure, yeah, why not? So we get inside his car and both doors are open. I'm on the passenger side, and from the inside of his car door he gets out 2 beers and he goes, "Do you want one?" I didn't want one. I had never had a beer before because I was 13. But, you know, I was having a good night. There was a handsome boy that was complimenting me, and I wanted to look cool. I didn't want him to get bored with me. So, of course, I go, "Sure, give me a beer. Never had one before, but I'd love to try." There you go. There's a first time for everything. So we're both sitting down in the car, and he goes to open my beer because of course I've never opened a beer before, never drunk a beer before. I'm 13, and he gives me the beer, and casually we begin to like sip the beer, I'm pretending that it doesn't taste like shit, because of course it does. I've never drunk a beer before. I'm 13, and you know, we kind of make small talk, and so he goes, "So, how old are you?" I'm 13 actually. "13? Really? Wow, you're really mature for your age." "Thank you." "Yeah, thank you." We keep talking casually. At some point, I let him know. I don't remember if I say it out loud or for just like the way I was acting. Clearly, I was cold, so he closes the doors and he kind of leans over me to close my own door. And as he comes back from leaning over me, he goes, so I go, "Oh no, it's okay." So he goes, so I don't do anything. And I'm sitting there and he's smiling. He takes my hand and he kind of like gets him towards himself, kind of like over his chest. And then he looks at me and he goes, "You've ever done something like this before?" I have no fucking clue what he's talking about, but I go, "No." I figured it out. So after a little while, it's done. So he kind of leans back into his seat and he looks at me and he gives me a big old smile. And he goes. Well, that was fun. Did you have fun? Sure, I had a lot of fun. Well, I gotta go. Thank you for spending some time with me. I had a good time. And yeah, maybe we're going to see each other someday. I'd love that. Sure, me too. I love it. Alright, I'm off. Yeah. You know, you really do have beautiful eyes. He presses a button and I hear the sound of the doors unlocking. I hadn't realized he had locked the door. Sometimes during. I didn't really notice it at the time. It's just a detail that came back a little later. So I opened the car door. He gives me a little kiss right there, and I get out of the car. He rolls down the window on the passenger side, and he leans. You know how they do, like grabbing the wheel and just like leaning over the passenger side, and he smiles, gives me a little wave, kind of like see you later, and yeah, closes the window and he drives off into the night. And I'm standing right there. I kind of look around me. I'm a bit shocked, thinking to myself, wow, that really happened. Yeah, that's going to be so cool when you tell it to like your friends and your sisters that you had your first time this summer. It's going to be like such gossip. You're going to be able to talk about it with your friends for like a month. How fun. I'm kind of cold. Kind of sticky. I'm a bit uncomfortable, but I'm like, sure, just gonna wash off. So I walk back to the heart of the festival. I wave to some of the people I know on the way back, and then I get inside the place where we were sleeping. I say hi to my little sister and my dad, who are half asleep, and I go to bed. And I go to bed. When I was a little kid and I was learning to read on my own, I would steal the dictionary and the phone book, and I would read them on the couch because we had nothing else to read. Like I had read everything else. So, and that was like my entire childhood, all the way to like all teenage years, even like when I was a young adult. Then I kind of transitioned to reading online, but always loved stories. Because the nice thing about stories is most of the time stories are how you pass along knowledge. They're how you teach the youngest generations what the older ones have been able to learn throughout their lives. Stories are a way to connect. And like I said, therapy is expensive. So I did go to therapy. I haven't told that whole story yet, just mentioned kind of like the end result, that whole car deal. And like we had a bunch, like we talked a bunch. Turns out I may have a little case of CPTSD, because that's what happens when you're 13 years old, little girl, and a handsome boy gives you a compliment for like an hour, and he takes you away to somewhere quiet and dark and lonely. And you know, like he said, there's a first time for everything. Thank you for listening to my story. Honestly, I don't really know where this came from. That's not what I was really planning to do when I heard about the challenge that that Joel was organizing. Because I have a degree in cinema, and so I did a bunch of 48 hours. I don't know if you've heard of them. It's like you have to make an entire movie in 48 hours. So this kind of like rushing stuff, I've done a bunch before, and usually it's like, even if we don't have much time, we try to write like a script down before. Good thing is when it's not a story, when it's something real, is that you don't really have to write a script, because that kind of stuff, it burns itself into your memory, and it stays there, like it digs its little claws into your brain for years, and the more you tug, the more it rips, and then you kind of forget stuff. I don't remember what the car looks like. Don't remember what he was wearing aside from the hat. He had very beautiful blue eyes. I remember in excruciating details where every single one of the stubble burns he left on my face were. I remember where every single one of the hickeys he left on my neck and my chest were. So you know, I didn't have to write a script. That was nice. Made it easier to come up with something. And I'm not gonna lie, the therapy stuff, it's not really, I mean, it's kind of true. I can't go to therapy anymore, it's too expensive. I did go for a while, I was diagnosed, which was cool, because it explains a lot. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to France, but the way we say hello, la bise, you smack cheeks and you make a sound. Depending on the region, you do more or less. Well, depending on the enthusiasm of the person who is saying hello to you, sometimes they can, like, you're not kissing on the cheek. I've seen that, like, in US portrayals of la bise. That's not like you're, but if you're a bit excited, like going a bit fast, sometimes you can leave a little saliva on someone's cheek. Kind of gross, I know. Usually it doesn't bother anyone. You wait until they turn their backs, wipe your cheek, you're good. But when that happens to me, especially the first time, oh boy. Yeah. Anyways. I hope you have a good day. Bye. Bonnes gens, écoutez la triste ritournelle des amants plaignants en proie à leurs tourments, parce qu'ils ont aimé des femmes infidèles qui les ont trompés ignominieusement. Écoutez, femmes cruelles, qu'on ne vous en fasse tout autant. La douleur n'est pas éternelle, même chez le meilleur des amants. Vaincus par vos propres armes, vous connaîtrez à votre tour et le désespoir et les larmes de la jalousie et de l'amour. Cœur pour cœur, dent pour dent, telle est la loi des amants. Cœur pour cœur, dent pour dent, telle est la loi des amants. Cœur pour cœur, dent pour dent, telle est la loi des amants. Cœur